Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for April 14th and 15th, 2020. How are you doing? We are in such a strange time, and it's interesting to look at this, the fact that today the sun is coming into that square with Pluto and then Jupiter, but today the sun is crossing over Eris, which is called the 10th planet. It's a dwarf planet that I haven't really talked about, but today it's on the table. And the story of Eris, the energy of Eris, really fits what's going on in our world right now. So Eris was discovered in January of 2005, but had been seen already on a telescope a couple of years before in 2003. Now, this is what led to the whole, so it's a dwarf planet, so not an asteroid, it's an actual planet, and it's very slow moving. It takes 558 years to get around the sun. So those slower moving bodies are generational. It's like big changes, big energies for humanity. So what's interesting is that when Eris was discovered, that's how Pluto got demoted. It was like Eris kind of brought a chaotic energy to, it's like, okay, wait, how many planets can we have? It's like disrupting this idea, kind of like Uranus did, right? Because Saturn kind of represents the last planet we can see in the sky. And so it represents like the boundary of what we're comfortable with in our, physical reality, like beyond like what's out there. And so then discovering another dwarf planet just kind of threw everyone for a loop, and it was kind of like, okay, Pluto can't be a planet anymore, right? So it's really interesting that relationship. Now, Eris is associated with the feminine version of Mars, like the female warrior, but it's exalted in Cancer, kind of ruled by Cancer. And that's like this mothering, nurturing instinct. And so Eris has this energy of mama bear. And it's like, yes, we're going to be all good and nice until you push me to that one place, and then you better watch it. And that's exactly where humanity is right now. So I think it's really interesting that the sun is right on top of Eris heading into this. So Eris, being such a slow moving planet, it's been at 23 degrees Aries, which is right in between where Pluto and Saturn came together at 22 in January, and where Jupiter and Pluto coming together at 24, both now and in July. So, really powerful energy. And so she's like the goddess of war. And it makes me think of those like Viking women that were like out on the battlefield, you know? But she's really about banishing all war, overcoming war. But it's got this empowerment energy, this fight for survival. And this is where humanity's at right now. Like humanity, if we don't wake up and take our power back from the controls that want to put us into a machine and kill us all, depopulate the planet, then we can say goodbye to humanity, right? As we know it. We're going to become robots. We're going to be, they want to microchip us. There's nanotechnology already affecting us. This mind control type energy, whatever's going on, that's making people just stay asleep and comatose, and it's like, okay, so it's like we've been given this Terminator gene, right? And we're at this place where we all get to, individually in our experience and in the life energy, where when you're so attacked and so beaten down, and it's like, okay, fine, whatever, kill me, like, giving up. And then this like last fight for survival comes in. Like, you got to fight. We have to fight right now. Like, humanity needs to fight for its right to survive, and then waking up to the truth that there's an agenda to kill us, 90% of us, right? And so this is exactly this energy of Eris. And so it's also about like building worlds and like intensely nurturing that. It's like a super matriarch energy, but then also like challenged to go to war. I kind of see this like peaceful indigenous tribe that will put up with enough. And then they're at the point where they have to fight, and then if they die in the cause, it's like, why? They're going to die either way, right? This is this feeling of like when you find the strength within you to fight for what's right. It's righteous rage. And that's where humanity needs to be right now, as much as it needs to be. We've been all talking about the higher vibration, but on the way to the higher vibration, your full permission for the higher vibration is moving through this righteous rage. And first you get sick to your stomach because you have to look at the truth and you want to throw up. Then you move to a higher, you can get to the righteous rage, and then we can claim those higher vibrational frequencies. So it's pretty interesting, this Eris energy and this mother bear being pushed to the limit. It makes me think of, I was watching Infinite Waters. I really like him, Ralph Smart. And he was talking about, what are you going to tell your grandchildren that you did during this time? You rolled over, you stayed inside. He said, sure, I'll give you my certificate of vaccination ID, COVID-19, right? Like, I'll just go along with this system and become an artificial intelligence, steal my soul, or did you stand up and did you speak the truth? And did you say no to the system? And that's kind of this Eris energy of fighting to survive. And it has an energy of like how we stay in our power, and this feminine power that's different. So if the feminine has been suppressed, right, in all of us, we're not talking just men and women, right? It's like we all have male and female within us. It's been suppressed. And then the feminine power went into darkness, deceit, manipulation, right? In order to try to get some power, to survive that way, right? This is the outward fight of the feminine. It's more on the table. It's righteous. It's justice. It's let's do what's good for everybody in the tribe, right? And so that's where this poetic justice is coming in, because it's like, this is us getting a backbone and standing up, humanity, and using all of this stuff that's been used against us for so long by coming into the truth of it and pushing back and saying no, and having where we're at right now is this powerful place of a boomerang, where all that's been done to us, we can deflect with our shield. I feel like that's the energy of Eris. It's like there's a shield. It's not necessarily a weapon. It's like a reflective shield that sends everything back because she's got her power, her spiritual power. It's like a spiritual war. It's interesting that her elliptical orbit is all weird, kind of like Chiron's. Chiron has it's not always the same amount of years that it takes to get through around the sun and stuff. But actually, Eris's is more stable that way, but it goes around like where all the other planets kind of stay in a plane, in the same plane, and Eris kind of goes above and below that plane. So she's visiting both the underworld and heaven, kind of. And maybe that's this kind of part of Eris around seeing the truth in order, that brings the righteous rage and the poetic justice. So that kind of feels like the energy. So the sun is right on top of Eris today. Tomorrow comes into this exact square. Actually today too, it's like it's moving into this exact square with Pluto, exact square with Jupiter, and that will go until Friday. We'll be feeling those energies. And then we've also got Mercury today. We're feeling Mercury and Chiron together. So Mercury, our conceptual reality in Aries, Sun, who we think we are in Aries. And this Eris in Aries is about reclaiming this righteous warrior, because it's like the warrior self has been, the male energy has been also very castigated, right? And it's like, no, right? Like, we have been subdued as a culture, and we're seeing that right now, where we'll just go, oh, you said to go inside? Okay, we'll go inside. When this virus isn't even transmissible by person to person, right, is what's going to come out as truth. And so it's like, and then you're saying yes to this attack on the fiber and the fabric of humanity, which is about connection and emotion and sharing. And so it's like, that's where we're at right now. To like, we need some serious poetic justice around here, and that has to do with getting the truth out there, people standing up out of this submissive place that doesn't, because the warrior, the male Mars, energy has been like, oh, no, 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 no violence. No, 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 don't get angry. Let's find a peaceful solution. And it's like, I feel like we're like literally being drugged with the chemtrails into this peaceful place, which might be good on some level, but it's like, maybe this Eris sun can wake us back up to, like, it's like, you don't fight for survival till you get to that place where you're almost losing it, right? And the attack on our life force, the attack on health, the poisons in our world, just so deliberately attacked. Our healthcare system is about making you sick. And it's like, you got to get to that point. Like, that's what happens in illness, actually, right? It's like, okay, are you going to enact your life force and fight? Like, the fight for survival is a quintessential part of life itself. And the Terminator gene is like, give up the fight, like, it's okay. And that's this parasitic energy that feeds on our soul. And then we die, a lot of like the suicides, right? That's like mind control. And then we die. And then you still have that parasite in your soul, and it's like this, you have felt this energy, right? And especially these souls have been very targeted with this energy of like, just give up, like, and on the other hand, we are being asked to surrender, from the ego, from the lower play of events into these higher energies. But if we don't fight for survival and come into our life force, then we can just kind of give up, so it's a very interesting place that we're at. And so really powerful with that North Node now at 1 degree Cancer, the last energy of this, the last couple of weeks. And I don't know if it's a couple weeks. I think it's the beginning of May 6th that it moves over into Gemini. And so this is this mother bear energy, right? And it's like, we all are becoming the mother bear. And like, maybe that's this reawakening of the divine masculine to join with the divine feminine. And, because a warrior out there, a paid warrior, is only going to fight so hard. Mama bear, who's protecting her tribe, you better watch out for that shit, right? So anyway, let's just see this vision for humanity standing up, taking back their planet, taking back their consciousness, taking back their life force, and their permission for health and life and thriving, right? This is about moving out of just barely getting by on so many levels into thriving, and when you tap into those energies, that's what this is about. It's like, like, we have been so kept in this lower matrix, and we know that's dissolving right now. We know these are symptoms of that. We know that the control energies are doing everything they can to clamp down on the light that's coming in right now. And that's why you've been so targeted over lifetimes, because you are a container for this light. So very interesting time. And I look forward to talking to you more about it all. There's definitely a lot of truth coming out right now. So if you can face it, you can share it. It's a really powerful time to be able to tell your grandchildren that you stood up to the man, in a righteous way, to protect your tribe and protect the love and the connection, the community of what true humanity is. And that's something we need to understand. It's really hard. Part of the hard truths is that, how could people actually act this way? How could people that we thought we could trust, heroes in our world, do these things, do these evil things to us, And so we've got to get over that one and recognize they're not actually human. Okay. Humanity, true humanity, right? So there's so many clones and who knows, like, what other kind of hybrid, like, AI technology out there. These people aren't even human, right? So this is a human revolution where we stand up for humanity, which is our sensitivity, our emotionality. And you know what? our need for connection. And that's where they're attacking us deep. There's like a deep rift in the fabric of humanity right now, a deep attack on keeping us separate. If we're separate, we can't come together and share. If we're separate, we can't come together and have power. We can't thrive. We know that human babies, if they're not actually given attention and love and warmth and care, then they cannot thrive. And that's exactly where they're going at us right now. And so we got to stand up and come back together. And I do see this boomerang energy of like, okay, this is actually going to help humanity potentially push through the boundaries of intimacy that social media has created and bring people back together in a connection in a way that they haven't had in a long time. And that's our power, And so, hang in there, stick with me. I'll be back for another update tomorrow. And just powerfully intense times is changing so fast. So stick with it, be present with the energies, and as much as you can, be that container for the light that you came here to be right here, right now. And let's do this together. So I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.